So students, in this video we are going to cover chapter 5 of class 8. The name of the chapter is Universal Franchise and India's Electoral System. Okay, so I'm sure you have a basic idea about this chapter because we are studying this chapter from beginning of the classes, that in 6th and 7th we also studied in this chapter. Okay, but in this class we are going to study about more deep. Okay, we are diving into the more deep concepts, that is about challenges and road ahead, understanding elections in India, a brief overview, the role of election commissions of India, bridges, barriers, enabling participations, and universal adult franchise. Okay, so these are the important topics which we are going to cover in this video. So let's start with the first topic, that is universal adult franchise. Okay, now universal adult franchise means every Indian citizen aged 18 years and above has the right to vote in elections, regardless of caste, gender, education, income, or any other factors. Okay, that means they are trying to say that every person who is above 18 years or 18 years are allowed to give votes, and votes are very important to form any kind of government. Okay, I hope you know that which party will get the major vote will become rule the country. Okay, so anyone of Indian citizens, if we are talking about Indian governments, can give votes as per this requirement, and no matter which caste, religion, gender that person belongs to. Clear? Now, Indian constitutions makes it decided that universal adult franchise will be a core feature of Indian democracy from the start. This is called universal adult franchise. Okay, this is a core feature to make any government. Okay, we need votes for that. Now, it means that every adult citizens aged 18 and above get one vote, with all votes have equal value. Okay, no matter what caste, creed, race, religion that person belongs to, every vote has one value. Okay. The term universal reflects this equal right to vote all eligible citizens. Universal franchise is the foundation of Indian democracy as stated in Article 326 of the Constitution. Clear? Elections to the Lok Sabha, State Legislative Assembly, Union Territories, local elections and village cities are based on universal franchise. Okay, that means not all the government based on this, but you know those Lok Sabha, villages elections, those who make the actual decisions based on these vote system. Okay, no one can vote on behalf of another person. That means you cannot, if you are suppose 18 years, then you cannot vote in behalf of your father. Okay, your vote will be your own vote. Okay, to vote, you must be registered as a voter in a constituency, but those guilty of serious crimes may be banned for voting. Okay, that means who have serious crimes are not allowed to give votes. Now, universal adult franchise. First of all, what does it give? It gives right to vote. We have already read the requirements of this, that every vote has equal value, no matter their caste, religion, and all, and no kind of discrimination. Every vote has equal one value vote. Okay, elections and eligibility, that everyone can registrations and disqualifications. Now, importance care, that we give equality, and through this we can create a democratic country. That means if people will vote, then we will be able to fulfill the definitions of by the country, for the country, and of the country, of the people. Clear? Now, this is the basic information which I think you already know. Now, let's move to the next part, that is to handle such large voting process, India needs a clear and well-planned system that keeps elections free and fair. That means no one can misuse the elections and give unfair success. So for that, we need to keep this planning proper. In this chapter, we will look who is allowed to vote, the different kinds of elections held in the country, and electoral process, and how the entire system is set up and managed. Okay, interesting. So let's study about this. Now, there are many reasons why universal franchise is important. Okay, the key points in the mind given below, that why is important universal franchise. Okay, so it is important because everyone is equal. Okay, no discrimination. Otherwise, on the basis of gender, discrimination can happen. On the basis of richer, poor people, discrimination can happen. But to keep all the peoples equal, this universal franchise is important. Everyone's voice matters. Okay, that means it is not necessary that only rich people's demands would hear. Everyone's voice matters. Thus, okay, all participate decides nation futures. Okay, elected representative answerable to electorals and powering to determine one's future, fostering civic engagement. Okay, so all these reasons are the main reasons to keep universal adult franchise. Okay. Now let's move to the next important part, that is bridging barriers, enabling participation, and ensuring universal franchise. Now, challenges of diversity. So you know that India is rich of diversity. Okay, so many cultural and traditional beliefs exist in India. Okay, now India's large, diverse, and complex nature poses challenge to conduct elections. Okay, because India's eligible voter population is 15 times larger than United Kingdom's. Okay, so that means our population is very high, and its area is 6 times larger than France. France. Okay, its geographic density, remote regions adds to complexity of organizing elections. Okay, so these are the problems which we are facing. Okay, first is challenges of diversity. Second is accessible features. Okay, that means election commissions of India organize elections and works to remove barriers to voting. Elect officials travel to remote locations to ensure every citizen can exercise. Okay, that means if everyone is allowed to give vote, then everyone should have access to that place, right? If elections will be held only in one place, then India is very large and diverse. Okay, so everyone cannot reach that place. It is so expensive also. So it is also a government duty that they are able to make that place accessible to everyone, and that's why these election commissions of India are to give vote are organized in different parts of India. Okay, so that everyone is able to reach that place. Clear? Now, the role of the election commissions of India. India follows a parliamentary democracy. At the national level, citizens elect members of Lok Sabha. Okay, that means we give votes and select the members of Lok Sabha who make rules for us. Okay, the lower house of the parliament. Okay, Lok Sabha is lower house of the parliament to deal with issues that affect the whole country. In addition, voters choose representatives from their own constituencies from the state or union territories, legislative assemblies. These elected members mainly address local or regional matters. Okay, that means they care about local or regional matters. They manages the massive tasks of conducting elections across the country, ensuring they remain free and fair. Okay, so what is the role of election commission of India? They first of all, at the national level, we elect the members of Lok Sabha, which is the lower parliamentary house of India. Okay, and these elected members mainly address local and regional matters. Okay, and apart from this, this election commission also manages massive tasks of conducting elections. That means everyone is able to give votes and free and fair elections happen with no unfair methods. Okay, that means no discrimination and unfair thing happens. So these all things are also checked by election commissions of India. Now, a brief introduction, let's study more about this. So, it is an independent constitutional body responsible for conducting free and fair elections in India. Okay, it was established in 1950. It conducts the elections to the Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, State Legislative Assembly, and officers of the President and Vice President. That means all the ways through the people's vote are ensured by election commissions of India that free and fair elections are having or not. The first general elections in independent India were held in 1951 to 1952. The ECI performs crucial tasks like at national level, chief election commissions, two election commissions. Okay, that means they are caring about it, who will rule the country and who will have. That means these are the very superior positions in India. So it is very important to keep these elections fair so that no one misuse their powers. Okay, that means the government actually forms on the basis of people's vote. Okay. Managing the electoral process, organizing elections in India is a huge responsibility. This is not an easy task. Uh, ECI constantly improves the system to meet the demands of a modern democracy to ensure free and fair voting. The electoral process is vast and runs smoothly. The Lok Sabha elections are a good example of how this works, and state assembly polls follow a similar method. Elections are held at different times across the country, but they occur at irregular intervals. So some form of voting takes place every year in various states or regions as terms. Okay, that means we in India we have about 980 million voters. Okay, that means 980 million we have adult citizens who are capable to give vote. Okay, so for that 543 parliamentary constituencies we have and over 1 million polling stations. Okay, now let's study about it how we actually give votes in Lok Sabha and state assemblies. Okay, so polling officers who check name on voter list and ID proof. Okay, so the work of polling officer is to check the names of on voter list and ID proof. Okay, who is giving the vote. Next is polling officer. Another polling officer we have who inks finger give chits to take your signature. Okay, that means when you give vote, so you are not able to give two times vote. So to ensure that they ink the fingers and give a chit to you and take your signature. Okay, so that everyone is able to give one vote only, not multiple times. Another polling officer takes chit and checks your finger. Nota, none of the above option is also available. Also available. Okay, press button to vote on the electronic voting machine. You hear a beep sound. Okay, that means you have to press the button to vote on the electronic voting machines. Okay, like this. They are filling the details and then you have to press the button on that. They are also taking the signature of that person. Okay, and you hear a beep sound which check the printed slip in VVPAT. Okay, and this is how you give vote. Okay, now model code of conduct. The model code of conduct is a set of rules to ensure free and fair elections. That means MCC is a set of rules which set free and fair elections to the citizens, listing guidelines of leaders, political parties and candidates. Key elements of MCC include rules for the ruling party to prevent misuse of government resources, such as not announcing new schemes or projects that could influence voters during elections. Candidates must show restraints and discretion to ensure peaceful elections. Offering gifts or instances to influence voters is punishable by law. That means at the time of elections, no party can give gifts to the citizens in place of votes. Okay, this is a unfair way of giving. This is an unfair way of elections. So this is also punishable by law. Okay, for candidates also they must show restraint and discretion to maintain peace in the area. Now, rules for ruling party that they do not misuse the government resources, such as announcing new schemes or projects that could influence voters during elections. Okay, this can deflect the reflect the way of waiting of people, and this is an unfair method. Okay, and then understanding elections in India, a brief overview. Elections at various levels from Lok Sabha to local bodies allow Indian citizens to choose leaders at a vibrant democratic process. Okay, we have studied this. Elections of Lok Sabha and state legislative assembly. So elections in India are often called the festival of democracy. Okay, this is the democracy system. Okay, where citizens freely, fairly, responsible choose their representatives. India follows a parliamentary system with elections held for the Lok Sabha, national level, state legislative assembly, and local bodies. Okay, that means in these places, voting system happened. The country is divided into 543 constituencies for Lok Sabha. We have already studied this in the above. Now, country is divided into 543 constituencies in for Lok Sabha elections. Elected candidates to the Lok Sabha are called members of parliament. That means who are actually elected at the final result. They are called as MPs. That means member of parliament. While those elected to state assemblies are called member of legislative assemblies. Okay, that means candidates elected for Lok Sabha are called MPs, members of parliament, and those selected for state assemblies are called MLA, that is member of legislative assemblies. Indian uses the first past the post. Okay, that means Indian uses the first past the post system where the candidates with the most votes is constituently means even if they don't secure 50% of the voters. Okay, that means that does not matter. See, this is same funda like in your class. If no one in your class has highest marks, suppose 20%. Let's suppose in your class the highest percentage in final exams is 20%. So that student will be first now because no any other student in the class and anyone is must not to keep someone first, second, third on the basis of your class. Okay, so it's not necessary that every time first position will be highest. It depends on your class performance. Okay, similarly here it depends on the candidate's performance. Even if not anyone secure 50%, but still if that person has highest majority, that person will be selected. Okay, next we have government formation. So after voting, the party or coalition with a majority of seats in the Lok Sabha forms the national government. Okay, this is okay, and its leader become the prime minister. At the state level, the leader of the majority party becomes the chief minister. The state election commissions work with the ECI, State Election Commission, works with the ECI, Election Commissions of India, to conduct elections, including those for local bodies, following universal adult franchise and constitutional provisions. Okay, so they work for together. Now we have studied elections to Lok Sabha, where people's candidates vote matters. Now we are going to study about elections to Rajya Sabha. Okay, so Rajya Sabha is also the member of parliament, but they are not chosen through candidates. This is indirect elections. Okay, we have 543 Lok Sabha constituencies, but we have 245 Rajya Sabha members and 233 are elected. See, we have 245 Rajya Sabha members, okay, and 233 are elected by elected members of Legislative Assembly, and 12 are nominated by the President of India. Okay, each state gets a different number of Rajya Sabha seats based on the population of that area, with larger states like Uttar Pradesh having more seats than smaller one like Arunachal Pradesh. The Rajya Sabha is called the permanent house because it never dissolves, expiry or termination due to end of terms or other constitution reasons. Okay, that means if in Lok Sabha members, in every interval of time elections again happens. Okay, and on the basis of government performance, that government will become next time also, or or maybe not become next time also. Okay, so what they're trying to say that in Rajya Sabha there is no continuous interval of elections or happens. This is a permanent and not expiry job. Okay, members serve 6 year terms with one third retiring every 2 years. Okay, that means in every 2 years, one third part of the population retire in Rajya Sabha. The voting uses a single transferable vote system to ensure fair representation, especially for smaller states. The Rajya Sabha is a council of states where MLAs are the president of India. Vote in indirect commissions where 12 members are nominated for the president. Okay, elect 233 Rajya Sabha members. Okay, now Rajya Sabha members are elected by MLA through indirect elections. We already studied, while presidents are nominated 12 distinguished individuals. Seat allocation is based on state population. More populous states like Uttar Pradesh have more seats. Okay. Rajya Sabha is a permanent body. One third of its member retire every 2 years, ensuring continuity. Okay, so that everyone is able to get the chance to get seat over here. So one third members expires every 2 years. MLA votes using a single transferable vote system where candidates by preference of we have already seen the requirements of this. Okay, elections of the president of India. Now, how does in elections of president happens? Okay, so the president of India is elected indirectly by an electoral college. We have already discussed this is an indirect method. Okay, and we nominate 12 people for the president. Okay, not by direct public vote. The electoral college includes member of parliaments, that is MPs, from both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha are included. Member of legislative assemblies MLA from state and the union territories of Delhi and Puducherry are included. The single transferable vote system is used to ensure the president has support from both central and state governments. Most populous states have a great say in the voting process, but the rulers are complex. The following members do not vote in the president elections. Nominate members for Rajya Sabha are 12. Okay, we nominate 12 people for Rajya Sabha to become a president. Okay, nominated members of state legislative assemblies. That means these people do not vote in presidential elections. Okay, first of all, those who are nominated, they cannot vote themselves. And nominated members of state legislative assemblies and members of legislative councils, both elected and nominated in bicameral legislations, nominated members of union territories of Delhi and Puducherry. Okay, so these cannot vote in the elections of president. Elections of the Vice Presidents in India. The Vice President of India is elected by electoral coalitions consisting of electoral nominated members of both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha using the single transferable vote system. The Vice President serves as the chairperson of the Rajya Sabha, and steps in the President cannot perform their duties. Okay, challenges and the road ahead. That means this is also an indirect system where members of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha are nominated from both these houses. Okay, and then final result come. Challenges and the road ahead. Current challenges. India's electoral system is known as the largest democratic exercise in the world, but it is not without challenges. Problems like rising role of money in campaigns, the presence of many candidates with criminal backgrounds, and low voters turnout, especially in cities, create concerns about the strength and future of our democracy. Strengthening democracy. The way forward involves empowering votes with information to make responsible choices. That means media education and awareness. Media education and awareness campaigns should help people, especially youth, understanding the importance of voting wisely. An informed and vigilant voter is the strongest protector of democracy, starting with asking the right question and cast a responsible vote. Okay. So what they are trying to say that it's true that we are giving right to the people to give votes, and then final government will be chosen who will elect the entire country. But this is very important that people have knowledge to select the right person. Okay, because if people will have lack of knowledge, so they will mostly not that much capable to understand the right ruler. So to spread this knowledge and the importance of vote is very important, so that a youth, which is upcoming youth who will give vote next time, is able to understand. And that's why this is the reason that this chapter is explained to you, so that you are able to select the next ruler when you will able to give votes. Okay, so here our this important chapter completes. I hope you understood the chapter. Thank you.